Around about a year ago, I had the pleasure of testing out two brand new trail running shoes from the UK-based running brand Ronhill, and I've got to say I was very impressed with the materials and compounds they used in the construction and how the shoes felt and performed out on the trails, and I really enjoyed the reverence at the time. Although I did say it would have been nice if it was a little bit lighter. I think it would have helped make the shoes feel a little bit more responsive and a bit more nimble out on the trails. Well, now the Ronhill brand have produced these, and it's got that new trainer smell, you know. It takes me back to being an 11-year-old kid when I got my first pair of running shoes. I love that smell. But yep, they produce these. These are the Freedom Ultras, and this is a more performance-driven trail running shoe for those quicker training runs or for race day. And I actually think the brand's done a pretty good job on the styling, but we all know as runners, it's not about looks when it comes to our running shoes, and performance is top of the list. So let's dive into the video and take these bad boys out for their first run. Welcome back everyone, hope you are all fit and well, and thanks for tuning into the channel again. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So the new releases just keep on coming in 2025, and this is the latest trail running offering from the Ronhill brand, the Freedom Ultra. And I actually think with this only being their third trail shoe in their current lineup, they've done a really good job and it looks great, and there's actually some very interesting features and some great materials used in the construction. So let's start off by giving you some stats. They should be releasing any day soon, and in fact when this video goes live they might already be available, but they're going to retail here in the UK for £150. I did find that they size a little bit small, so I've actually gone up half a size to a UK 10 and it fits just right on length, and my pair tips the scales at 295 grams, so definitely a lot lighter than the two previous Ronhill trail shoes that I tested out on the channel. However, I would have still liked to see them maybe a little bit lighter again, just because it has been designed to be that sort of performance-driven trail racer. Happy to see that Ronhill have gone with a 5mm heel offset. I tend to spend most of my time running in shoes with a 4 to 6mm drop, so this is just right for me. And as far as stack heights go on the Freedom Ultra, we've got a 30mm stack height at the heel, 25mm under the forefoot. So you can see you do get a decent depth of cushioning in that midsole. And then if I flip them over, we've got a 4mm lug depth on the rubber outsole. Moving on to the construction, and the Freedom Ultra comes with this booty style upper design. So they're actually more like pulling a sock on than a traditional pair of running shoes. We've also got this ankle gaiter built in, so that's going to hopefully prevent trail debris getting inside the upper. And this time round, Ronhill have gone for the super durable Matrix Evo upper. So that should be comfortable, highly breathable. It should also drain well, but it's definitely going to hold up to that tough trail environment well. I also really like the way they've worked the Ronhill logo into that Matrix fabric there. I think that's a really nice attention to detail. And even though it is a booty style design, we've still got a decent level of padding in that tongue area. We've got some zonal padding wrapping around the ankle and in the heel, and there is quite a lot of overlays going on the upper. And then finishing off, you get a nice set of notched laces that are very similar to the brilliant laces that you get on Nike's Vaporfly. So they should give me a really good lockdown around my midfoot, but they should stay locked down throughout the run. And I've actually seen a lot of shoe brands using very similar types of laces at the moment. We've also got a good level of protection up front from a nice substantial toe bumper, and I said it time and time again on the channel, this is a feature I always look for in my trail running shoes, because there's nothing more painful than stubbing your toe when you're moving at speed out on the trails. The Freedom Ultra also comes with a very different midsole setup when you compare it to what you got on the Reverence. So this time round, Ronhill have opted for a high energy returning Michelin supercritical midsole foam, and I'm really interested to test that out today, because as I push into it, it doesn't feel that soft, and in fact it feels quite firm. So I wonder how that's going to feel and perform out on the trails today. And then last but not least, flipping the shoes over, we've got an OC1 Michelin rubber outsole with a 4mm multi-directional lug pattern. So there you have it, Ronhill's latest offering for the trails, and I think it's great to see the brand bringing out a more performance-driven trail running shoe that uses some great tech, what with this Matrix Evo booty style upper, and we've got that Michelin supercritical foam in the midsole. But I think we've reached that time in the video where we need to give these shoes a thorough testing. So I'm off to get ready, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.
To have one single thing in mind, I'm casting our date to save some time. So on the edge of life, ooh, some perception of time.
So recently on the channel, I've had a few comments from viewers saying that I'm terrible because every time I run through a gate, I never shut it. Well, that's not the case. You're obviously not familiar with this type of gate. So this is what we call a kissing gate in the UK. So it just swings open and it swings closed. You can't latch it, you can't lock it. And the tradition goes is when you pass through it with another person, you need to kiss them on the other side, hence kissing gate. So I always make sure I close gates that can be closed. I promise, you know, it's a big bugbear of mine. I hate going on a run and seeing gates that have been left open, so I don't do it. But that is a kissing gate. It can't be shut.
Wake up, this restless soul. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall.
Okay, we are 3 miles in. I've had to find somewhere sheltered to speak to you on the camera because I know it looks beautiful, blue sky and sunshine, and it is amazing, but it is blowing a hoolie. I reckon it's gusting 40 miles an hour at times, and it is a chilly wind, hence why I've got a wind light on. But so far, so good. So like I say, 3 miles down, the first thing I've got to talk about is how amazingly comfortable this upper is. So when I slipped my foot into that upper indoors, just felt great straight away, straight out of the box. And obviously we've got that sort of booty construction, but we've also got really good width in the toe box. So I wouldn't say it's as wide as say an Ultra shoe, but I would say it definitely gives me as much width as say the new line of Innovate shoes. So plenty of wiggle room up front, but because we've got that booty fit, super secure around my midfoot. The tongue feels very comfortable over the top of my foot. And like I thought at home, we've got those notch laces, so it's given me a real precise, secure lockdown, and it's stayed locked down so far. I know, I hear you all saying I'm only 3 miles into the run, and I get it, but I really can't fault this upper so far when it comes to fit, comfort, and lockdown. It really does feel great on my feet. But let's get this run done. 3 miles ticked off so far. We're going to try and get 7, 8 miles in like we normally do on our first impressions video. So let's crack on. What a glorious day. Chilly, windy, but glorious.
Wake up, this restless soul. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall. We're rushing against the wall. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall.
It's so windy! So windy! Oh, gosh, making it hard work! Woo.
Wake up, this restless soul. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall. We're rushing against the wall. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall. Nothing's gonna slow us down as long as we fall.
Again, don't get in the comments and tell me off. It's another kissing gate, so you can see it can't be locked. You just gotta leave it and run through it.
We're sliding
head off the Towers. We've done 7 miles, and that has been a tough run with that strong wind. Headwind made it so difficult, although I did have a bit of tailwind coming back, but it wasn't just because of the headwind. Obviously I was on the Towers, so there's lots of sand, and at times I was feeling like my face was being sandblasted, and I had to run and sort of cover up my eyes, and I still feel like I've got a load of sand in my eyes now. And that has been a tough 7 miles. However, as far as the shoe goes, this upper is still feeling super comfortable. I'm so surprised by it, and in fact I would say it's the most comfortable running shoe upper I've tested so far this year, and that's road and trail shoes. So just super plush, straight out of the box. It's giving me that sort of comfy old slipper vibe, like I've been running in the shoe for 6 months already. So all in all, it's been a great first run, but I've got about half a mile to go till we get back to the studio. There's a couple of things that I'm not sure about, so let's get back home and let's wrap this video up with a quick conclusion. Don't worry, it's another kissing gate. So another successful first run in a new running shoe here at Run4Adventure, and by the time I finished I'd managed to cover 7.6 miles, and I've got to say a very comfortable 7.6 miles. Just taking it nice and steady today, so averaging around 8:30, 9-minute miling, but I did manage to run just shy of 1,200 feet of elevation, so there were a few ups and downs along the way. And I got to do it all in that beautiful blue sky Cornish sunshine. So lots and lots of positives apart from the strong wind. And I've never been a big fan of the wind while I'm running, and it was gusting super strong at times on today's run. But I guess it's just good training in my legs. Now, I know I've mentioned it several times already, but these really are a very plush feeling pair of trail running shoes, and I actually think that it's a combination of this booty style construction, just the right level of padding in that tongue area for me, and the fact that we've got this nice wide roomy toe box, and I think all of those things together just makes the Freedom Ultra a very comfortable pair of shoes. And again, it's one of those shoes I'll just put in on straight away out of the box, and it just feels good because everything seems to be working really well for my foot shape. You can see from the footage there that it was super dry out on the trails today, so I didn't get an opportunity to test out this Michelin rubber in wet conditions, but when I actually took the Reverence out for its first run, took them around to Hiddy Woods, it was a super wet, muddy, slippy day, and that has a very similar Michelin rubber outsole, and it handled the conditions really well. And you know, obviously with the Freedom Ultra only having a 4mm lug depth, I would say that it is aimed more at the sort of drier trails, so wouldn't really be a trail shoe you're reaching for in the depths of a UK wet, muddy winter. So we've talked all about this super comfy upper, and we've gone into outsole performance, so I guess that only leaves us this super critical foam midsole. And we ran a pretty big mix of different terrains today, so it has some tarmac to get to the trails. We're obviously running on the Towers, so lots of soft sand to deal with. We had some compacted pathways, and also quite a few sort of stony, rocky trails to navigate, and that foam midsole actually handled them well. Also, on those areas of stony trails, seemed to give me a good level of underfoot protection. However, this foam did feel quite firm, and I was worried about that at home. When I pushed into the midsole, it did feel firm, and maybe I was expecting a bit more cushioning and energy return from the shoe, because you know, Ronhill are pitching this as their sort of high performance trail racer that's been designed for speed, efficiency and durability over medium and long distances, including ultra marathons. And you know, if I was taking on say a 50k, a 50 miler, or even 100 miles, then I would maybe want a bit more softness from the midsole in my trail shoe, just to try and help when it comes to sort of muscle fatigue over those types of distances. I'm really hoping that this is just a new shoe thing, and this midsole foam just needs a bit of time to bed in and soften up, because I really did enjoy every other aspect of these new trail running shoes. And if that is the case and it just needs a bit of bedding in, I think Ronhill have got a top performing pair of trail running shoes on their hands, and I can actually see myself spending a lot of time in these over the coming months. Obviously, these are just my first impressions after today's initial run, but I do tend to get a good idea if a shoe is going to work well for me after that first outing, and I am definitely getting good vibes from the Freedom Ultra. So watch this space. I'm going to try and get a good 60 or 70 miles in them to see how the shoes feel after some good mileage, and then I'll be back on the channel with a full in-depth review to let you know how I'm getting on. So there you have it, guys, a positive start for the new Freedom Ultra, and I think this shoe really does highlight the fact that the Ronhill brand are taking this trail running shoe thing really seriously, and they've designed and developed a great feeling pair of trail running shoes that I'm actually excited to run in. But really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Really hope you found it helpful. If you have, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it is a big help to the channel and very much appreciated. If you have any questions about the new Ronhill shoes, please feel free to get them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to them as soon as possible. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Really is appreciated by myself and by Liga. We'll be back with some more interesting running content very soon. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. Quite a lot of overlays going on the upper, and we've even got some that have been stitched, and you don't see that on Mudden. What's Mudden? It's really got that new shoe smell. Love that smell. It takes me back to being an 11-year-old kid when I got my first pair of running shoes. Feels great. It feels great. Feels great, yeah. Oh, the feel of the shoe is just great. Oh, it feels so good.